Hello, everybody. It's your friend James Shaw. Trust you're doing okay and ready for a great day. You know, the one thing we like to do is always talking to agents who are absolutely doing really cool things to, grow their database, help more people, impact more people. And we're going to do that today. We're going to talk to my friend Donna Gilbert. If you've ever been around inside our communities, you may know Donna, a great agent who you're doing something different. We're going to talk referrals today, but not in the way most people think of referrals. So I'm excited about that. Before we do it, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody so they know who you are and where you're from and a little bit about you?
Okay, so I'm Donna Gilbert, and I work out of the Stamford, Connecticut Market Center. I like to say Stamford, Connecticut, and beyond, Fairfield County, Connecticut. I've been an agent for 21 years and with Keller Williams for about 9, could be 10. And yeah, fell into the pivot shift just like everyone else did. And it's really been a remarkable change for my business. So I appreciate being here.
We're glad you're here and we're thankful you're going to share with us, as you always do. You have a great business and have had one for a long time, 20 plus years. But it's not the only thing you do. And what we're going to talk about is how you've taken kind of what your joy in life is and turned that into an opportunity to get referrals. What you do, Donna, is you will get referrals from people that aren't past clients. It's not like somebody says, hey, I mean, you get those too.
Yeah.
But the what we're talking about today is
Yeah.
not yet a past client whose sister needs to sell and they call you, or not somebody who said, hey, I heard my neighbor wants to sell and buy a new house. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about people that you would have likely never come across otherwise. You're in Connecticut. This person could be in Kentucky, and yet you're earning referrals a little bit about that. So I want to set it up first, which is your kind of other love, because we all have our other love. So what's the other thing that you're doing all the time, Donna?
So I have been involved with purebred dogs. You can see my little Pembroke Welsh Corgi around my neck. I always wear it. And another reason is because it's a conversation starter. But I've been showing, breeding, and now judging purebred dogs all around the United States and Canada for 34 years. And just like the pivot shift community, you can imagine I'm also tied into the whole dog fancy community. And here's the other part, that I've always been a person in leadership in that community as well. So a lot of these people already see me as the voice of authority. They're used to taking direction. They already know me, like me, and trust me.
Yeah. In fact, it was a major part of your world up until the pandemic. The pandemic, because the shows got canceled and different things, caused you to actually go more into real estate. Now you're back to really doing both things at a high level. And you are getting referrals through this dog community. Tell us a little bit about how you're doing it. I think it's a missed opportunity for most agents.
I do too.
Because we know people all across the country and whatever things we're engaged in. So what are some of the ways that you're earning these referrals? Walk us through it.
Okay, so let me just share that it was even a missed opportunity for me. I mean, over these years, I would go to a dog show. I could show up in Texas, let's say, at an arena. There's 700 people there with their dogs. Somebody would walk across the arena and say, oh, I was hoping you would be here. You know, mom's passed away. I'm the executor on the will. Can you find me someone in Oklahoma to sell the house? Or, I show up in, like you said, Kentucky. And again, it's like, so we want to move from here to there. Who do you know that can you do the hookup? And I was just taking that as just like another day at the dog show until I started realizing that there's actually you can really build a part of your business around this. With my MAPS coach, who said, well, you're there every weekend. Why don't we roll this into what you're doing? And then it became more purposeful.
And we're going to talk about how you made it purposeful in a second. What comes to mind for me is we all have the thing, right? I'm not at dog shows every weekend, but my daughter Naomi dances. And so we're at competitions quite frequently. And by the way, we see a lot of the same dance schools, convention to convention. So I see other parents. So I could be more purposeful in connecting with them and building relationship with them and bringing up real estate. So this is where it could get kind of weird. You don't go to the dog show and walk around and go, hi, I'm Donna Gilbert. I sell houses. Who do you know from church or work that wants to buy a home or sell a home? Like, that's not what you're doing.
No.
You're there for the dog show, and yet it's not a secret about what you do and how you can help. So talk about how you made that work, because it happened kind of accidentally to start,
organically.
but now you're more purposeful. How do we make
Exactly.
it work without it being weird, Donna?
So here's the thing, like you said, you're there, like the dance recitals, the dog shows are over multiple days most of the time. We're hanging around, we're chatting. I'm already in their life. I'm already talking with them about their children, their grandchildren, their aging pet. I'm already in their life having conversations about them. So I do show up. I show up with little tchotchkes. I give out a calendar that's branded to me. I showed you this morning on the pivot call my dog keychains that are branded to me. A lot of my branding is I give out the poop bag holders. It's shaped like a little bone, and little bags come out of that. So constantly reminding, and because we're already friends or connected in some level, they are on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is a lot of fun stuff, and I do tell a story about someone I help buy or sell. So I'm reminding them on the regular. And it's not unusual for me to be out to dinner with someone and someone wants to pick my brain about real estate, and there's 4 or 5 other people who are sitting there. It just is part of the conversation, but I'm the focus of that conversation. I'm not competing with any other realtors. They know that I'm helpful. They know that I'm somebody that they can come to because they've seen me before in other aspects. See, that's the thing. People know who you are by how you're already showing up, I think. So you become like I'm the go-to person for real estate.
Yeah, it's really smart, and you've gotten a little more purposeful about it because you're
Very much
posting
so.
stuff on social media. I think are you taking postcards or something too? What are you doing with
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So I've done a number of things. I've done the calendars, I've done the keychains. I do send out postcards to people. I actually even have little. It's like postcard shaped, but I don't mail it. I take it now when we're at a dog show for a couple of days. It could be a whole weekend, 4 days. And everybody's got their little, we call it the setup, where you have all your supplies and you get your dog ready and everything. So you're in the ring for like, 5, 10, 15 minutes. The rest of the time, you're just hanging out at your setup. I'll go around and put them on various setups. So it's kind of like I equate it to this is my neighborhood and I'm door knocking. I think of it that way. This is what my coach and I kind of fashioned. So I do that. And so again, you may not get immediate return. The person may not be at their setup, but they'll see it. My picture's on it. It's a picture of me with my dog. So they know if they want to find me, they should find out what time the corgis are going to be and be near that. Right. I mean, there's so many connections that allows you to be around this. It's a demographic farm for me.
Yeah.
And I move around the country. A lot of the same people move around the country. And as I said, we see each other over and over again. Why wouldn't they choose me, trust me? They see me as part of their world already.
Yeah, no doubt. And your postcards remind them that you can help anywhere because, again, I don't want people to miss this. You could be at a dog show in Omaha.
Right,
You live in Stamford, Connecticut,
right.
and someone else is at this dog show in Omaha who lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and
Yeah,
they need to move to Sandusky, Ohio. I mean, there's somebody, and they call
that's it.
you, Donna, and say,
That's
"Oh
it.
my gosh, we're moving from Lexington to Sandusky. Do you know someone who can help us?" That's what's happening, right?
That's exactly what's happening. And let me tell you, when it first started rolling, I didn't really pay that much attention until like checks are rolling in.
Right. Right.
Checks are rolling in. And
Yeah,
all I did was
you told Vicky that it's 14 closed transactions since November of 22 with, I think, 2 more pendings
yes,
through
and
this.
those 2 have closed.
They've closed. Okay, so
And on
16.
Thursday, I interviewed another agent to take over someone who's moving to North Carolina.
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about next. They're seeing you as a resource, which is great, right? They're coming to you. Hey, Donna, you've made it clear I can help you anywhere in the country. I've got referral partners everywhere in the country. And so now you go pick agents. And
Yes.
so I'm curious about your process on that.
Yeah.
My guess would be that you look, at you're part of, not only are you part of Pivot Shift Ahead, but you're part of our private mastermind community, the Inspire Collective. So you might start there and then go to Pivot. But I'm curious about how do you match up the right agent? What do you do?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So you're right. I am a big part of, and when I say that, I mean I've been on the calls since the beginning. So I'm watching who shows up on a regular basis, who has their camera on, who shares, how do they share. So I like to say to people who are like, I don't know if I can be on the call. I don't know if I can have my camera on. I like to say, but do you understand that you're auditioning for the referral? Do you understand that people are watching and making decisions about whether they'll send you a referral? You need to show up and participate. So I watch that. And then if I do put out a shout, if I don't already know somebody that I'm thinking about, I might put a shout out for it, but I say I'm interviewing for an agent to help someone in North Carolina. I don't say I have a referral for you necessarily because we've got to chat and talk, and I've got to see if it's a good match. I'm trying to feel out kind of what your standards are, how you're going to approach this, because a referral to me is an extension of my business as well. And I do stay in contact a little bit because I had some sort of a contact with this client before it went to you. So for me to just drop it seems a little bit insincere. I'm not going to be up in your life trying to tell you how to buy and sell. You know how to do that, or else you wouldn't be on the team.
Yeah.
And yet, we are a team, all of us, so we
Yeah.
stay involved. And
Donna,
I go to Pivot Shift first, I go to Inspire first, I go to Pivot Shift next, and I'll reach within that community and say, "Well, who do you know?" The
yeah.
woman that I found in North Carolina, it's a specific area, it's a tiny little town. I didn't know anybody. I reached out to LaKayla in Virginia. LaKayla Abrams said, I have somebody I've been working with. She's helping me get my North Carolina license. So you use the resources as best you can. You can find great people.
Yeah, I think that's part of the thing. Those of you watching this, look, you're here right now, which means you have some level of interest in participating in what we do inside of both Pivot Shift Ahead, which is our free community that has 113,000 people in it, or you might be part of our Inspire Collective, which is our much smaller community that is it's a paid membership where we connect and go much deeper. But if you're watching this, participate. That's the answer. Part of it, Donna, right, is that if we kind of do a side call to the interview we're doing right now, but do the side interview of, if you're showing up in any of these communities, if you're participating in our morning mastermind call, we do at 8 o'clock Eastern every day, or if you're in Inspire and on the Inspire calls, participate so people know who you are and you can earn referrals, right?
Absolutely. I want you to show me who you are. I want you to make me want to call you and say, she'd be great. And I'm also matching you up with my client. Not every client needs the same things. So are your temperaments going to match well together? So that we can do it. So this can be a successful transaction for everyone involved from start to finish, and nothing gets dropped. It's more than just picking an agent that services that. One could be great for one situation and somebody else is better for another. So
Yeah.
there's something else I wanted to say about that, and
Well, what's that?
I'm just going to put it in here. So on that note, when I'm interviewing agents, I actually say, have a conversation. If it's going to go forward, have a conversation with the client, see if it works. I want you to know that I will stay involved. If it's not a match, you may be asked to step aside and be replaced. I like to liken it to when, the manager goes out and takes the ball from the pitcher. You're still on the team. You still, just today is not your day. This just isn't the client.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. I don't think badly about you. This wasn't the perfect match. So let's just make it that. Let's step aside, let someone else come in, pitch the rest of the game.
I like it. I think it's a good analogy. It's common for the Yankees too right now. Sorry, Donna's a Yankees fan. All right, so last thing on this, and thank you so much for sharing. I think it's great perspective. And again, I got excited when I heard 16 transactions in 2 years. That's 8 deals a year. You're
Yeah,
getting more, you're doing it without having to do anything other than connect some people. It's really smart, Donna. It's really good.
that's the thing. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
it
I'm sorry.
really,
Yeah.
and some of these checks can be, if you have the right clients. I mean, I had a $9,000 check just show up. I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
ooh,
Yep.
we're not talking about little change if you have the, clients that
No,
are
my last referral check was $6,000, and I went.
yeah,
When I was selling, there were times my
right.
entire check was not $6,000, and I just had a referral check for $6,000, and all I did was saying, oh yeah, and it wasn't not in a market I'm in,
Right.
but somebody in Asheville needed an agent, and I said, here you go. You go use this person. It was somebody I knew. Go use this person. They got the house sold in a couple of weeks. I got a check for $6,000.
Exactly.
It's hard to pass up.
Yeah.
So again, though, we're saying, think about, what are you a part of that's
Right.
not your database? What is it that you're a part of? And when I say database, your typical past client sphere database, but what other things are you a part of where you could connect people across the country? So if somebody's going, all right, yeah, this is smart. My kid plays travel baseball. We're at a baseball thing every single weekend. It's
You
the same
notice-
teams every time. I see the
Right.
same parents every time. What advice, what would be the pro tips, the 2 or 3 tips that you'd give that person to start to turn that into a network?
So I think the biggest thing is to show up at a place where you're already interested. That really helps because it's genuine. You're there for a reason. And then be truly interested in other people around you. So you're right. I do not show up and say, I'm a real estate agent. I can help you anywhere. But I show up and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I saw on Facebook you had a new grandbaby. Get involved in their life. Ask them about them. Ask them about them. And then remember, when you're all part of this, I'm 34 years with this group. If you're with baseball or whatever, it's at least 2, 3, 4, could be 5 years that you're seeing these people on a regular basis. Really be interested in what's happening in their life, looking for the changes, those things that trigger a buy sell, and let them know, on my Facebook and things that I mail out, I'm not hyper local with all the stats just in my area all the time because I want them to think of me globally. So I do talk about real estate in the market in general, or just the process of buying and selling. So they think I know what I'm doing and they're willing to ask me a question because I'm part of their life.
Yeah. Well, you do know what you're doing. It's really smart. Donna, thank you for sharing this with us. You always had so much value to our community. And again, just a different perspective to think about referrals, right? You can earn referrals all over the place. This is a non-traditional way to do it, but it's turned into a great deal for Donna. Donna, thank you so much for the time.
My pleasure.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you. We'll, of course, see you on the calls. As Donna said, if you're getting on our calls every morning at 8 o'clock Eastern, participate, right? Come join us. In fact, get on Zoom, pivotshiftcall.com. Every weekday morning, pivotshiftcall.com. Come join us. And if you're an Inspire member, get real active in there too, in the Facebook group and on the calls. Donna, thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.